He's a popular name that's been thrown out there for a couple of jobs. Do
Yeah,
you go with another?
he's doing a great job with the Lions defense. But another D coordinator I like is from my second favorite team.
Okay.
But I
I
mean,
think his name is
let's
Chris.
break down. The Seattle defensive coordinators always get these head coaching jobs, and what
Oh,
do they
yeah,
They
do?
do.
Gus
They do.
Bradley's
that's
trash.
yeah, that's a rough
They
one.
do.
Dan Quinn, he's okay with the Falcons, but he got gifted a lot of things over there.
He did. He did.
That
Yeah.
is
He he
true.
he
That's
took
true.
Mike Smith's team and his. He's doing what Mike Smith could have did, but yeah, I
I
don't
just
know.
think these Seattle DCs, they get hired and they try to replicate what Seattle has, which you can't.
You
You
can't.
can't do
Right.
Yeah,
that.
you can't do that because Seattle just doesn't. Seattle just has very gifted people in places. I mean, you got arguably the best corner and arguably the best defensive lineman in the game in Michael Bennett. So you just can't you
Right.
can't replicate in places without those type of players. Then and Gus Bradley's finding that out. We're
But
seeing
Find it out
but
year
to get
4. He
back,
said he found that out a while ago.
but for me to get back to the point with the Bengals, why it hurts so much,
okay,
we have so much cap room we don't use.
okay,
So
okay.
we just need a whole new direction with the GM and with the coaches. Use the cap room, man. Like we got 30
Oh,
million just sitting there, basically
wow. Yeah.
not being used. We could have signed one either Mohamed Sanu or Marvin Jones back, or kept Reggie Nelson. I know he's old, but he's balling for Oakland right now.
He is.
So
Is
we
he
either
balling?
keep
That
two out
Oakland
of the
defense is
three,
kind of trash.
Well,
but they
Is
have.
he?
I
as a
mean,
as a whole.
yeah, I mean, they'll be in the playoffs. We'll see how they do. But as of now, they're not playing too well. But Reggie Nelson with the Bengals, he had 8 interceptions. He led the league,
Oh,
and I mean, he was just a great fit for that scheme, I
he
guess.
did. He
But
did. Okay, so getting back to the point, getting back to top bowls.
hmm
James, you're saying he has to stay.
yeah,
Ben, what do you say?
I say, yeah, you gotta give him another year. I mean, my thing about them though, I don't know who's calling the shots of the draft. I don't know if the GM's talking to the coach or if the GM's going off the cuff. Because them picking Hackenberg in the second round, now they're
Oh,
playing Petty out for the rest of the season.
oh yeah, that was horrible.
I don't know what the direction is
Yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah,
that was a horrible.
now making a
Yeah,
quarterback.
that was a horrible decision. And and it's a quarterback driven league. So and rightfully so,
Mhm.
they're struggling. Ryan Fitzpatrick is struggling. They already said that Bryce Petty was going to play the rest of the year regardless. So they have. I mean, to me, that just shows a bigger problem of the team already. And the coaches and the GM already saying like, okay, we're just throwing the towel in this year. We'll just work better for next year. And I don't know if I'm okay with that. And we'll
right.
see. I mean, I agree that he deserves another season, but I just don't know if it'll happen.
We'll see. It's hard to stay in New York for a while.
Yeah,
It
and
takes a
then,
little bit.
it's a whole lot different media. I mean, look at Tom Coughlin. I mean, he just had a
Yeah.
couple rough seasons, and Eli had a bad year too, and then they just got rid of him.
But
And
I kind of feel bad for him. You give me Ryan Fitzpatrick as a quarterback, and you give me an aging defense. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's just
yeah, they can't rush the passer. I mean, they have zero pass rush whatsoever coming from the outside.
You never come at Leonard Williams like that. He good.
I mean,
oh, he's a good
no.
prospect, but
Interior. No. What I was saying, Ben, is I was
Edge
saying
rushers?
strictly edge rushers. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean I
yeah,
don't mind
yeah,
no edge rusher.
yeah. I was talking to strictly edge rushers. I mean, they drafted the lead kid from Ohio State, and he was a safety when he went to Ohio State, and now he's trying to play edge rusher in the league, and he's just getting stoned. So,
They put him at
yeah,
OLB. I thought it was inside. Yeah, at
he,
outside.
he they played him at outside linebacker a couple. Yeah, they moved him outside because they don't have anything else. They don't have anywhere else to
That's
go.
terrible.
Yeah, they're struggling. Yeah, they're just struggling.
All right, moving on from coaches. Let's go ahead and talk about who y'all think the MVP candidates are for this season.
hmm,
Mm,
I got a top five.
okay.
I start from five. Five, I gotta say Tom Brady. Gotta give him his respect.
To go.
Okay, relax.
Yeah, yeah. We
You know what
gonna
I'm saying?
discuss
I
that
gotta give
another
Tom
day.
Brady a five. At four, I got Ezekiel Elliott. the kid's balling. Like, I don't care if the offensive line is the best. He's still running.
Okay.
Number 3, I got Matt Ryan.
Okay.
He's been struggling of late, but they're still going to be a playoff team to me. Doesn't matter. At 2, I got Dak Prescott.
Wow.
I know, yeah, it's a big wow.
Wow.
I know he has a good support.
I'm okay with Dak up there. I don't know about number 2, but I can see a case for him.
The only thing.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to defend yourself.
This is my logic. I know he has the best O-line. He has a great young running back. But honestly, I'm really not sold on the Cowboys wide receiving core. I mean, yeah, Cole Beasley's having a phenomenal year. Terrence Williams is he just have eggs. I mean, other than that, I'm just like, it's not that great receiving core, and he's still making great throws from watching the game. It might not show up on the stat sheet, but he's making the throws.
Okay, I'll respect that.
At number 1, I wasn't a believer at first, but I got to go with Derek Carr. I mean,
oh my God!
Oh wow!
It's a 10-2 football team, and he's making the plays. He's carrying a terrible defense on his back and winning games.
I put Dak over Derek Carr first.
Oh
no! Hold on. I just have one problem with your list. There is no Matthew Stafford there.
And he was my 5.
That's the only
respect.
That's the only no Matthew Stafford. I don't know. He's arguably having by far the best season he's had since they went 12-4 and made the playoffs. But I have to include Matthew Stafford on any top list that I have. And but I agree with a lot of what you said. I'm not quite sold on the Cowboys yet. As far as individual, they have a great cohesive bunch of what they put together, but I'm not quite. I don't know. And the only thing that I think about it is a young kid like Dak playing and realizing that he has Romo, who is the GM owner's angel sent from above behind him waiting, and I have to feel like the kid's almost walking around on eggshells, even though Romo came out and said what he had to say and that he was behind him. And yeah, he said he had to say that, and that seemed all nice. But I can't help but feel for a kid that goes out there and knows that if he could make 2 interceptions and they get in a rough time and they bring Romo back, and then who knows what happens there.
I think it's a little too late to bring Romo back now. You 12 games in.
I know, but
I don't think Dak could play bad enough that they got to bring Romo.
But we're talking.
But it's Jerry Jones.
You know? That's what I was gonna say. We're talking about Jerry Jones. This man is. I mean, after all, if it weren't for his son, Steven, they would have Johnny Manziel. They would have drafted Johnny Manziel instead of Zach Martin. And we all see what Zach Martin is doing, and we all see what Johnny Manziel is doing. So, I mean, it's Jerry Jones, and that's just the only part that I just feel bad for the kid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last up on the NFL docket, we're gonna go for. Skip this one. We'll go for playoff pretenders versus playoff contenders. Who's and who's legit out there?
I'll have to say, as far as the NFC side, I'm shaky on the Cowboys, but I'd have to say they're legit. I have to say they're definitely contending there.
I'm gonna call that a cop out. Of course, they're 11-1. Give me some more than that.
From the south, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Falcons are pretenders. I'm gonna go out here on a limb and say the Atlanta Falcons are pretenders, and they're gonna end up losing the South. And if they lose the NFC South, they could end up missing the playoffs, which is what I'm predicting to happen. I'm going to also say the Minnesota Vikings are pretenders. They are done. They are well done.
Pretenders.
They're well done steaks.
Wow. Do not count out Mike Zimmer, man.
Mike Zimmer is a whale of a coach, but Sam Bradford is done, like a steak that's been on the grill for too long. And one more from the NFC East. I'm going to say the Giants are for real and will win a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants will be the other team from the East. The Redskins will not make it, and of course, the Eagles are done as well after what we've seen
Mhm.
the last 2 weeks from them.
All right, I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Giants are contenders. I think they're pretty legit. Once that offense can, I don't know why they should be a top 5 offense, but I think
Mhm.
they have enough right now just to stick it out and gut a few close games. If you look at their offense right now, even though it's not performing well, it's still better than those Super Bowl teams they had that just did enough to win Super Bowls. So
I
I think
will agree. I will agree.
they got enough offense to win playoff games. It'd be nice if they could go a step above, but I do think they're contenders. And I'll say from the AFC, I don't know why they're sleeping on them. Everyone talks about the Raiders. They mentioned the Broncos, but I think the Chiefs are a really,
Yes.
really legit team. Like they just
Yes.
win
Yes.
games.
I agree. I agree.
And for pretenders, anyone that comes out of AFC South, pretenders, just go ahead and write them off. They're losing.
Oh yeah. That those South teams, and well, three of them are at 6-6, and any three of those could win the division right now. And I would pick against all three of those playing at home against any of the wild card teams, which is probably going to end up being a team from the AFC South or the AFC North, unless. Okay, I'll bring up a team, the Dolphins. Are we sold on the Dolphins? Can the
No,
Dolphins make the playoffs?
they can make the playoffs, but I'm not sold
They
on
can
the
make it,
Dolphins.
but no,
But
pretenders.
no, they're pretenders as well.
Yeah,
Who comes out of the AFC North?
it's anybody comes out of the
That's
AFC
another
North. It's
pretending division to me.
pretenders. This year, AFC North pretenders. No,
The whole
E-
division?
Yeah, I don't
the whole
believe in the
division.
Ravens, Steelers. I mean, you could say that offense is good, but Big Ben's always hurt, and they just I don't know. They don't. They have so much
Yeah.
weapons that, and they still don't perform well. They're
Okay,
7-5.
okay, all of that's valid.
All right. So I think my list might ruffle some feathers.
Okay.
Pretenders. I'm just gonna go down the list of what I got. The Detroit Lions are pretenders to me
Wow.
because
Okay.
Okay.
listen to me. Listen, they're benefiting from a down division, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is not. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are not the same.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers in a second, but okay.
The
Trash.
Vikings have no offense. So at the beginning of the season when they were winning, they have no offense. The Bears are the
Okay.
Bears.
The Bears
They're
are the Bears.
benefiting. They're like the NFC version of the Raiders right now because they just benefiting off a high offense. They make some plays down the stretch defensively, but I feel like when it comes down, if you got to go to Seattle or Dallas, it's gonna be a rough game for you.
Wait, so you think the Raiders are pretenders too?
No, I
Though?
got them as contenders. I just feel like they have a way better offense. And I know that's crazy, but Derek
Okay.
Carr, I feel like he's the MVP, and I trust him for now.
Okay.
And my
We'll
other
discuss
team,
this on later days.
yeah, my other team that's pretenders is Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the
Okay.
Houston Texans, anybody out of the AFC North. And this one I just don't like. I have to say it's the New York Giants.
Mm.
Oh,
Your
Is it because
best
of
D
the
lineman,
offense?
your best D lineman is might be out for the year,
yeah. JPP's probably done.
and
Okay.
he's been balling with 3 fingers. So
He is.
I
He
mean,
is.
with him out, I just don't trust the rest of the D line.
You don't trust Olivier Vernon? That's $100
Olivier
million.
Vernon?
He's gonna get more attention now. You couldn't really
Valid.
scheme to block him because you got another elite pass rusher on the other side. Regular guy in, and that's just benefiting the opposing offense.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a little rough for him from the start to get back used to getting chipped and doubled and triple teamed because I mean their DTs are not just run stoppers to me. So
Okay.
I mean contenders for me is the obvious ones: Dallas Cowboys, Seahawks, Raiders, Patriots, Broncos, and Chiefs. That's the only 6
The
teams I see.
Broncos?
Yeah, I know it's crazy, but I feel like if they can have if they can have like a game manager at quarterback to just manage the game, no
They got one.
turnovers. Yeah,
So
that's one thing they have. They don't have a quarterback.
So can both wild card teams be out of the West? Is that possible?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
no,
what you
three teams
predict?
out of the
I
West are
think just
making
don't
the
happen.
playoffs.
That's what we're saying. We're saying 3 teams are making the playoffs out of the West.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I can see that happening. I can see that happening. I'm not sold on that happening yet. I just don't know. I don't. Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that happening.
All right, let's move from the NFL to a little NBA action over there.
Oh yes, what we all been waiting for. You know who I'm gonna start with. You know who I'll start with. The best guard in the NBA out of UCLA, Russell Westbrook.
MVP. That's all I go.
Oh,
That's all I'm gonna
oh,
say.
Oh yeah, of course.
oh, this is about
That's
to
all
be
I'm gonna say.
this about to be a great segment on the NBA. Listen to me, I done did my research. Overall, this guy's averaging 31 points, 10.9 rebounds, and 11.3 assists.
Oh my.
And over the last 10 games, 30 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 13 assists. 13 assists from Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, he always can dish that thing, man.
He
always
could.
could.
He
But
just got
13
selfish.
assists with that Thunder roster? That's impressive, my man.
But can we talk about these rebounds? Because I mean,
Oh
is
yeah,
Steven
I'm gonna turn
Adams
it
just
over.
not doing anything? Like, how does he have this many rebounds? What is everybody else doing?
I just feel like I think what LeBron said was right. Russell Westbrook is just an energizer bunny. He's everywhere. He's everywhere on the court. And I feel like he's the most impressive player that I've seen this year. Because he just has that motivation that, you know what I'm saying, he hates KD. He wants revenge. And he's like
Yeah.
playing that every single night. He's bringing it every single night.
He's bringing it now.
I mean, this might be overreaction, but I think if you take him off that Thunder roster, they're at the bottom of the West to me. He just makes
They're terrible.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Who would carry him?
Woo.
Oladipo?
Oladipo? Steven Adams?
Yeah, you don't have to carry him over Steven Adams. Put that thing on his back.
All right, I got one serious question.
Okay.
Do y'all think he'll average a triple double throughout the whole season?
Ooh.
I think he starts to burn out a couple weeks after the All-Star game.
I just don't know if he can average 10 rebounds over the year. That's the only one I don't think he could get. I think he can get the assists, and of course he can get the points, but I do not know, nor do I think he can get 10 rebounds a game over 82 game season.
Right. I feel like he'll average one up until the All-Star break. Basically going off what I said.
I'll give him mid-February.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's hop on to the next segment. The next question. Are the Clippers ready to take the next step?
No, they never. That team, I don't know why Doc Rivers is still over there. That team will
Wow.
never win a championship. They're never going to go over there. They're just going to stay one of those teams that'll make the playoffs.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, who cares? They're never
Wow.
They're not.
Well, you could argue if they wouldn't have to play the Spurs, the Thunder, and the Warriors in their conference,
and they still would lose to the Cavs if they was in eighth.
Yeah, but we're talking, but right now we're talking about an era of basketball where the top teams could be the top teams in different eras. So I got to give them a little benefit. I don't think they're ready to take that next step to win a championship. No, because it's just the road in front of them is just too tough. I mean, but if they got to the finals, they would be dead tired from playing 7-game series because they would have to go through at least 2 of the 3 between the Spurs and the Warriors and the Thunder to get to the finals. So they just they just will be physically burnt out, and mentally it would just be too much by then. But
I just don't think they have enough talent to do it.
Why?
I mean, look, Chris Paul's great. Blake Griffin's a really good power forward.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I mean, come on now.
They
ain't stacking up with nobody.
They arguably have the best defensive center in the game.
Oh yeah. To me,
I mean, DeAndre Jordan is arguably the best defensive center in the game.
He's the best anchor.
Okay, that's true. But when's the last time a team that won a championship had like the best defensive center in the league. Warriors barely played with a center. Cavs barely played with a center. Heat when they were winning, could anyone name their center? Like
no
Joe
Shaq,
Lacob? Like,
no Shaq, no Shaq, no Lonzo Mourning.
we're going back a decade now. Like really,
I
Um,
mean,
I'm talking about in today's NBA.
Haslam with the straight backs.
Shaq. We had Shaq with Miami. It's been a while, but this is what I think for the Clippers to be for real. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin got to stay healthy in the playoffs because it's always an injury with both. And I feel like before the All-Star break, before the trade deadline, you got to find a small forward. I mean,
They never had a 3.
yeah, they're trash.
I think they got to find a guy that's in the middle of Chris Paul and better than Blake Griffin. Like I don't think a third guy that's under them is going to push them over the top. They need a next tier dude that can fit in between, but it isn't worse than both of them.
I'm gonna disagree because I feel like it's a solid 3 that knows the Clippers system and fits in perfectly.
Throw a name out. Throw the name out.
Of who would be a good small forward?
For that's intriguing roster, because he
for
knows
that roster
Doc's system.
That's intriguing.
He played with Doc in Boston.
That's intriguing.
And he gets it. But I feel like cap room wise, it won't happen because he's making like $15 million a year, and he's a great fit for that Clippers roster. But who are you going to trade for? I mean, they have no trade assets.
Wait, who'd you say? I missed it.
Jeff Green. He went with Jeff Green.
I don't think Jeff Green gets him there. Like I don't think Jeff.
He gets you there.
Well,
but he's not checking Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard.
Well,
but he's at least getting in the way compared to these other small forwards.
Well, look, let's just be real. The only way the Clippers make the finals this year is if the Warriors do not play and Kawhi Leonard catches the flu for 7 games when they're playing them. They just don't have it. I hate it. I hate it for Doc because I would love for Doc to, because I really like the way Doc coaches, and I think Doc is a great coach and a great role model, but I just don't think they can get it done. They just don't have the roster. I mean, Brandon Bass, Jamal Crawford, Wesley Johnson.
Agreed.
Like, is that what they're? I mean, Mo Spates.
This bench and this roster, I'm not sold on. I mean,
JJ Redick.
Hey, I love JJ.
Yeah, you can love JJ, but JJ ain't like
that's 16 points a game, man.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just how is he getting 16 in a series with the Spurs? No. Is he getting 16?
That 16 is real inflated though, because they really need him. Like you want JJ to be that sixth man. You don't want JJ to be the third or fourth guy that he is.
I disagree. I think JJ Redick can be a starting guard in this league. I think that JJ Redick can be.
He can be a starting guard. We're talking about for a championship team. No, if JJ Redick is your starting guard for your championship team, I don't think you're winning a ring.
I can agree with that. I was just playing devil's advocate. I was just trying to get the clip. I was just trying to get my man Doc Rivers there, but this just not happening. And I don't know. Well, unless KD opts out and he leaves the West, then maybe. But I just don't see it happening.
All right, let's move on to the next question. This is probably the easiest one I'm gonna throw at you. Can anyone in the East challenge the Cleveland Cavaliers?
No, sir.
In the East?
Yeah, in the East.
You mean the Eastern Conference? Oh God. Is LeBron catching the flu? Is something happening that I don't need? I mean, he rolled his ankle or something I need to know about?
I mean, hey, you just gotta throw it out there because you know the Knicks.
Yeah,
New York Knicks is a super team. You know.
You mean the New York Knicks?
Man, they played the water bottle challenge yesterday
during the game. Yeah, that was so disrespectful. But I mean, yeah, it was. They were that bored. They played the water bottle challenge. Yeah, it was just that bad.
Oh, speaking of Knicks, maybe Melo should go to the Clippers.
Never happened.
it was not gonna happen, but Knicks ain't gonna win anything out of it begging for a trade right now.
But Melo, I still don't think Melo can be okay with not being the guy. Like even with Derrick Rose there in New York and Porzingis, he like Melo's still the guy. And if he goes to the Clippers, he would still be the guy, but he knows that he would have really good pieces around him. And I don't know if he can deal with not being the guy.
Right. I mean, if he want a ring, he got to deal with that. Because look at it, he ain't never getting a ring.
I would agree with that. I would be willing to agree with that, but I just don't know if he can see himself doing that. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, in the East, it'll be the Cavs versus whoever coming out of the West. Because I'm not counting out. I'm not counting out the Spurs yet, but they're the only team that can challenge the Warriors.
Right. All right. I'm just gonna skip to the best question, the most controversial thing that any basketball fan talks about. 10 players in the league right now. Season that you think are the top 10 players right now.
Top 10 in
top
order,
10?
just 10 in general.
I mean, what I did, I've ranked mine in order.
Oh,
you know, I give you mine on what right now.
All right, go for
Russell Westbrook, number 1.
Okay.
LeBron James, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Kevin Durant, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Curry, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go Anthony Davis. I'm gonna put him at the 5 slot.
Mm-hmm.
6. I'm gonna go. A lot of people don't know it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put in Damian Lillard at 6. Yeah.
Okay.
7. I'm gonna go Kawhi. 8. I'm gonna have to throw in Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Let me backtrack. 8. I'm gonna have to throw in James Harden.
Oh, there you go.
9. I'm gonna throw in Kyrie Irving. And 10. I'm gonna go ahead and have to give it to DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
Boogie.
All right.
All
right. This.
Yeah, that I can agree with that. I'm like you, Ben. I thought you were going to give us some more to talk about, and you still were going to put LeBron at number 1. But this year, I got to go with Russell.
I gotta give Brody his props. Westbrook killing. I gotta say.
Yeah. I got to go with Russell. I got to go with Russell at the top. But the only thing is I got James Harden at about the 6 range. I got to give him above Kawhi and Damon Leonard. And I love Kawhi to death, but I just think this is a different James Harden this year. I think we're seeing a different James Harden.
The point guard James Harden.
I think we're seeing a different James Harden. So I got to go with him a couple of ticks above Kawhi and Lillard there. And I got the love that you got to keep Boogie Kyle. Oh my. Boogie Cousins in there. I can't talk tonight.
He got it.
Yeah, I got it. Boogie Cousins in there. Got to keep Boogie in there tonight, and he's
shooting a smooth 39.6 from the 3 line.
He does not need to be shooting threes, man. He does not need to be shooting threes. Get that man inside the 3-point line.
Hey, that boy got range, bro.
No. Please settle that down.
It's time to ruffle some feathers with my top 10 list.
All right.
Better not have Anthony Davis number 1.
No, I'm not gonna do that. At number 10, I got my man Paul George, PG-13.
No, I can't agree with that.
Go ahead, throw the list away.
Okay, listen. Don't be surprised just because the Pacers are struggling right now. When they get on, and y'all see Paul George on ESPN dropping 30 a night.
Oh man, okay.
Told you first.
All right.
At number 9,
we're gonna discuss this.
One of the best players to ever come out of Duke University, Kyrie Irving.
At 9?
At 9.
Okay.
At number 8, I'll go with my man Blake Griffin. Because people always think Blake is just a great athlete. He can dunk. This man is doing it all. He's making great passes.
I mean, but he's
defense
been doing
focuses
the same thing since his second year in the association.
But but it's more impressive this year to me. I feel like he's going to take off and carry the Clippers for playoffs if healthy.
They
And
really
number
ain't gonna
7,
carry right to the second round.
and number 7, I got my man James Harden. He's balling.
Wow, no respect for
I don't
James.
personally like his game, but I respect it. James Harden's balling. He's gonna have an MVP type season. He won't win it, but he's gonna be up there. And number 6, I got the most underrated player in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard. Nobody gives him respect. This man is a baller.
I love Kawhi's game. I love Kawhi's game.
I love Kawhi.
I've liked Kawhi. I've liked this game since his days at San Diego State. So I've loved Kawhi's game from his college days.
I love it. The Golden State Warriors are terrified of Kawhi Leonard. I'm telling you this. They don't want to see him. You already know. The game, Anthony Davis. Don't fault him for a terrible Pelicans roster. He's doing his thing.
That's
Good
Carl
players
Anthony
around
Towns with
him.
brother.
It's a wrap. If he just add one more superstar, Anthony Davis, the Pelicans are a playoff team.
By playoff team, you mean eighth seed?
No. Oh no. They're a 6 to 8 seed team with another superstar, especially a ball.
How, James? Hold on. We're gonna have to pause the list. We're gonna have to pause the list.
I'm gonna pause the list. I'm gonna show you.
How?
I have watched terrible Pelicans game, but the one thing the Pelicans have is shooters. We always have shooters around the court. We have Buddy Hield, Eton Moore. Well, we lost 2 to the Rockets. We had Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon, but they got tired of losing and left us. But it's okay. I understand.
Wait, time out. If y'all got all these shooters, how y'all can't win games? The last time I checked, a team full of shooters has been to the finals back-to-back years.
Superstar shooters, guys could do more than shoot.
Oh yeah, no, Ben, we're not. Those are different type of shooters.
That's a difference.
These are
actually plays defense. These Pelican shooters get broke off.
Ben, these are once in a generation type shooters. Man, these are once in a generation type shooters. These not regular shooters.
Let me rephrase what I said. I'm gonna rephrase what I said. We don't have warrior type shooters, to be exact. We have good shooters on the perimeter. And even we got our head coach off the Warrior staff. So we want to mimic what they do. But let's say you get a superstar point guard like Damian Lillard. You don't think Dame and Anthony Davis with that roster can go to be a 6 seed?
Didn't Damian just sign didn't he just resign?
Yeah, it's hypothetical. I'm just saying.
Come on.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying hypothetical.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
It can happen.
Yeah, we'll let you dream. Yeah, go back to the list.
Let me dream.
You better at the list. Go back to the list.
All right. And number 4, I got my man Steph Curry. I mean, he's the best shooter in the game right now. It's tough for me to put Steph over Kyrie, but that's a different conversation. But I'm just being realistic. Steph is number 4. And number 3, I got Kevin Durant. The man's unstoppable with the Warriors now, man. Like, this team is just cheating. 2K. Kevin Durant's the man.
Yeah.
Wait, people still play 2K? Oh, my bad.
Oh, attacking 2K. Wow.
And then number 2, I have Russell Westbrook. And I know y'all gonna be pissed off and mad, but
I'm not.
Number 2, I have Russell Westbrook because I have to pick James. That's the number 1 player in the NBA because this man is like almost 33 years old, still dominating. But he has it. If you watch LeBron, he's damn near averaging a triple-double. Sorry. But hey.
I'm okay with Bron still being number 1. Because, I mean, at the end of
the day,
let's hear me out. What Westbrook's doing right now is Westbrook maxing himself out. LeBron is chilling and put up his stats.
Okay, look.
That's my exact thought process, Ben.
Look. Okay. I only got one problem with what you guys were telling me. Y'all telling me this man, James Harden, is the 8th or the seventh best player in the league, and the man's averaging 28 and 11 a game.
Because he don't play no defense and he get a lot of
Thank you,
turnovers.
Ben. Thank you. He doesn't play lick. If Jerry,
Okay.
you tell me if I'm an elite scorer in the NBA, and you say,
Okay.
you really gotta check the best guy, Steph Curry. But that's another conversation. James Harden.
Whoa.
He's on the worst player. Oh, don't make me go in on Steph because I will go in on Steph Curry.
Okay.
But James Harden does not check the best guard. He checks the worst player on the floor.
He does.
Rest. All that he does is just get the ball and go. Basically, his job is create the offense, get to the free throw line. That's it.
I've seen him play in person. He plays zero defense. I can vouch for that. I've seen the man play in person with my own eyes and not on TV. He does not play defense, but I mean, the man's averaging 28 and 11, and I just thought I'd throw it out there.
5.6 turnovers.
Okay.
I mean, Westbrook averaging the same amount of turnovers, but he giving me a triple double and strapping up on defense.
Okay, so we okay. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm cool.
All right. Now we're gonna go into some college football. You know.
All right. We're shifting over to college football. All right. So we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off fairly easy. But I just want to hear what y'all got to say. Who wins the Heisman on Saturday night?
Lamar.
Yeah,
Is
Lamar.
it that easy? That easy?
Yes.
Can I play devil's advocate for maybe a Baker Mayfield or maybe a DD Westbrook?
No.
Maybe DD Baker shouldn't be in it.
Baker shouldn't be in it?
No, I think they had it right.
About who shouldn't be in it? Jabril Peppers shouldn't be in it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Oh wow.
Bro. I mean, have you seen his stat? I'm not a big Adoree Jackson guy, but
the man, people don't throw the ball. He plays linebacker, Ben.
He got one interception.
He's listed as a linebacker, Ben.
Bro, I can name like 10 better defensive players than him. Why is he the?
Oh no.
I can't name 10. I can't.
Ben, we gonna have to table that 10 defensive players better than Jabril Peppers. We gonna note that down. That you gonna name 10 defensive players in college football better than Jabril Peppers, but we'll save that for another day. But so Ben, you wanted to bring up who shouldn't be there. You said Jabril Peppers. Well, okay, and you said you got 10 people better than him.
Yeah, I think I got about 10. I'll say I could put at least 5.
5.
Okay.
We might. I mean, 5. I could. Okay.
Yeah,
I could name 5 defensive players better than Jabril Peppers, and all of them. And I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say at least 4 of them play defensive line. At least 2 of at least 2 of them play on the same team, which should be completely illegal. But we won't even get into that today. With what we won't get into what the Alabama Crimson Tide can do and line up Jonathan Allen and Tim Williams and put Tim in the 5 and Jonathan Allen in the 3 tech to the same side on pass rushing downs. That's illegal, but we'll talk about it. So no love for Baker Mayfield. No love for Baker Mayfield.
I think they got the finalists right.
You think that? I agree with the finalists are right.
Jake Browning was in.
Oh yeah, no, Jake.
Because I feel like with that week schedule,
we're going to discuss the playoffs. We're going to discuss the playoffs.
Man.
But we got to have a lengthy discussion on that one. But I'm not a believer in Jake Browning. They played well this year and they beat who they had to beat, but I'm not a believer in Jake Browning as one of the top players in the country. So how does Lamar win by that much of a landslide? Is it a landslide?
Nah. I
mean, he made it a little closer with the last couple of weeks of playing
kind
of average ball, but
let's
talk about. I mean, he had the best year. He had the best season.
Okay.
I think, than everybody.
Okay, who comes in second?
Probably
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun. Okay. Okay, I can respect that. He comes up a little short again, but we can deal with that. Okay. All right. Since James provided with the lead in, did the playoff committee get it right? We have Alabama playing Washington and Ohio State playing Clemson. Did they get the top 4 right?
I think yes.
Yes. You say yes.
It wouldn't be fair to take Washington, regardless of what y'all want to say. Big Ten team is better than Washington.
The
Look,
team.
they
Okay.
won their conference. They
All
got
right.
one loss in there.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll let you tackle it first,
No.
James. Go ahead, James. They didn't get it right.
I will
Who's
go
your top
through the
four?
schedule.
Who's your top four?
On my top
Okay.
four,
Yeah.
I think it should be Alabama, Ohio State, and Penn State. And this is my logic.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't say Michigan, man. I'm glad you didn't say Michigan.
Oh no, we're not. I'll bring up Michigan,
No.
but we're not going to discuss Michigan like
This is
that.
my
No,
logic.
no.
You have to reward the team who wins the toughest conference in football. I respect the Pac-12 and Washington, but going through the schedule, I just don't see
All right, let's
it.
go through the schedule.
Arizona.
Let's go through the schedule.
We have the
But
three
if you're gonna
non-conference.
say you gotta respect the team, which I do think Penn State maybe should be in. If you're gonna say that, then you gotta take Clemson out. I mean, not Clemson out.
Okay, we can tackle this after I do this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we're gonna
tackle
go
that.
through the schedule. We're gonna go through the schedule.
Okay, conference Arizona. Arizona was terrible. Stanford was terrible.
Oh,
Terrible this season.
Stanford ended up winning 9 games.
Oregon State. Utah.
Horrible.
I give that. Utah's okay to me. California, no. USC, they played a tough team. Yeah, that's why I feel like they're gonna get blown out against Alabama because USC just playing what they did to them. Arizona State, down year. Washington State, good team. That's just a good team to me. But then you go to the Pac-12 championship and play Colorado
Against their backup quarterback.
And even if they had their starting quarterback, I'm not sold on that Colorado team because I just feel like they were the type of team that we usually see that benefits off good coaching, and that's what I feel it is. And throughout the season, it was able to beat teams that was the same caliber as you, and that's why I feel when you go through Colorado. And I only saw them play 3 times this year. Nobody really pops out. It's just good team ball.
Okay. This is the thing about Washington that my top 4, in my top 4, I had Bama, Clemson, Penn State, and Ohio State. I had and no particular order with the last 2. Ohio State have probably still would end up higher than Penn State just because of what actually happened. But my thing with Washington is, yes, Ben, they won their conference. Yes, they won the Pac-12. But in winning that conference, they played 2 legitimate teams the whole year, 2 legitimately tough teams the whole year. And one of them was in the conference championship game against the backup quarterback. And the other game, they lost.
Right.
So my thing, and what is it, Sin? We say we want to reward. And my thing is the committee's principle was that strength of schedule was one of them. Number 1, it was conference championships. So if you look at conference championship, Penn State had a conference championship. Washington had a conference championship. And for that reason, I couldn't even put Michigan in consideration because they said, number 1, it was conference championships. Then number 2, it would be head-to-head battles. So obviously none of those teams played against each other other than Ohio State, who did beat Oklahoma at the beginning of the year. Oklahoma ended up being ranked in the top 10 as well. So you got to give Ohio State credit for that win on the road, even though it was early in the year. But this team, Washington, has played no one, and in the non-conference, they played Idaho and Portland State. So what does that tell people? What does that tell people as ADs? Schedule the easiest schedule you can get through your conference, and you'll be in the championship. And it waters down the sport entirely. I'm not in favor of Washington. There's nothing that you can tell me that thinks that they should be in the top 4 teams. I think that Alabama team might beat them by 40 points, to be completely honest. Offensive line wise, they cannot block, and the Colorado defensive line and linebackers expose that. And you're going to line Jonathan Allen and Deshaun Hand, Tim Williams, and then let Reuben Foster run sideline to sideline. They might get beat by 40 points, which is a travesty to us as fans. Just in my position.
It's not about us as fans. Those players got on there and played all these weeks of football For them to
Penn
win their
State.
conference, got one loss.
Ben,
Penn
Ben,
State.
That's crazy.
Ben,
Penn
Ben.
State played the toughest schedule
The entire
of the year.
Well, then
yes.
put Penn State in and take Ohio State out then.
Oh my Ben.
So now we're gonna
I'm not gonna
Ben.
sit here and let a one-loss conference
Ben.
championship team just not get in the playoffs.
Ben.
okay.
Got to
So
expand the playoffs then.
Ben, I got
Ooh,
one question, Ben.
What?
Do you not know how hard it is to win at Oklahoma?
yeah,
Ohio State
won
walked
at
into
Oklahoma, and it
with
wasn't
the
close.
youngest team in the Power 5 and won.
And they beat them by 3
against that Oklahoma
touchdowns.
team.
They beat them by 3 touchdowns.
And we leaving that team out just
No.
because.
And Ben, you brought up a good point. I'm in favor. I'm in favor of expanding to 8, and I'll give you the 8 teams, and it'll be cut and dry, and everybody knows the rules. Other than 8 teams, the 5 Power 5 champions, the best group of 5 champion, and 2 at-large teams. Simple as that. Simple as that. You win. You have to reward Penn State when you tell them all year. You told everybody in the Big Ten that the Big Ten is the best conference in football. That's all we've said. That's everybody has said. Yes, this year the Big Ten is the best conference in football, and rightfully so by the teams. They have teams playing in 3 power New Year's 6 games. So they rightfully so. Rightfully so. They're good. They're that good. And you mean to tell me you're going to tell the team that wins the best conference and beats 2 teams that were ranked in the top 5 in their division of their conference, and you're going to tell me they don't deserve to be, they're not one of the best 4 teams in the country? It just doesn't add up.
If you want to put Penn State in, the team you need to substitute them out with is Ohio State.
You can't take arguably Ben. Arguably, you would take out Clemson before you took out Ohio State. Ohio State's schedule has been tougher than Clemson's.
Easily.
And we can talk about that. So if you would take out someone,
why would I take out a conference championship person for someone who didn't win a conference championship?
Okay. Now that's another argument that we're gonna have another day. But like I said,
if you want to say something about the ACC, then that's crazy.
But I feel like the ACC is stronger than the Pac-12.
Yeah, the ACC is stronger than the Pac-12 easily.
Can we talk? Okay, we want to talk about conferences. Bama probably won the worst conference out of the bunch. So what we saying?
Yeah. Okay, Ben. We can say that the SEC is down, but I will not blame the Alabama team for that.
I'm not gonna blame them for that, but you're blaming Washington for that. So
Ben, are you saying the Pac-12 is better than the SEC this year?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Okay, on that note,
that's an outlandish statement. Okay, man, I don't know where we'll go from there, but
Washington would be 8-4 in the SEC. Let's be honest.
8-4.
I'm being generous.
No, they will win 7 games. In the SEC East, they might go 8-4. In the East, they could go 8-4. Well, I don't know because Vandy beat Tennessee. Kentucky played tough with a lot of teams. Kentucky almost beat Florida. South Carolina did beat Tennessee. And so they might end up going 7-5 in the SEC East.
Oh my goodness!
In the West, they might not win 6. In the West, they might win 6 games. Their offensive line, they can't block. They cannot block an SEC team, and it would surprise me if Alabama does not have at least 4 sacks in the playoff game. It would surprise me. That's all I'm saying. All right. Speaking of playoff, is Alabama hands down? Head and shoulders above everybody? Do they win it all?
It'll be a tough game in the championship game, but they'll win.
Okay. Who meets them in the championship game?
I'm going back and forth. I'm saying Clemson.
Going to say Clemson? They beat Ohio State. Ohio State's youth? Is that what gets?
Yeah, I think Clemson's big time players.
Okay.
I think they have more than Ohio State with experience.
You think Deshaun's what, Ben?
Deshaun's going to play better than JT, but I still don't think either of those guys are enough really to give Alabama a run for their money. Last year's Deshaun gave Alabama a run for their money. He
did.
This year's Deshaun isn't as good, and I don't think they'll get much.
I don't think they're supporting. I don't think they have it all clicking, or they did later in the year, and they just ran again. People just know how to play them and Deshaun Watson this year. So it's tougher the second time around. I just think Alabama's just that much. It's just it would surprise me if the only X factor is Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer can get his young team past Clemson and they get a little mojo and get a little momentum and feel good about themselves, that's the only X factor. But other than Urban Meyer, I can't give any of those other three teams a shot. I think Alabama's just that good. It's sad, but they're just that good ahead of everybody else. All right. Bowl matchups. Most intriguing bowl matchup. Most interesting bowl matchup. The one you're most excited to see.
Michigan versus Florida State.
Oh, you're gonna steal my game there. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I think.
The pick, but man, like.
Oh, yeah,
Just imagine.
that's the hands down best game out there, I think, other than obviously playoffs. So
Yeah,
none of the other ones are that good.
Yeah. No love for the Oklahoma Auburn game. Or is Oklahoma?
No, I don't care at all about Auburn.
Who wants to watch Auburn's offense? That's just I hate watching. Get a quarterback.
I mean, I want to see Penn State play, but I don't care for USC. So
I think that's actually since James took my game with Florida State, Michigan. I actually am interested in seeing that game. I think Penn State has a little mojo, and I think USC definitely feels like they're playing one of the hottest teams in the league and playing as one of the hottest teams in the league. So I think they definitely
an important game moving forward. A lot of people might be sleeping on it, but Western Michigan versus Wisconsin, because if Michigan can win this game, then if they can go undefeated again next year, I think now you got to start throwing them in those top 10s, whatever.
I'll agree with that. I love PJ Fleck and Michigan, Western Michigan's coach. I love PJ Fleck.
State, when they were winning back in the day, it took them a while for people to think maybe this team should play for national champion. It took them a couple years of taking one loss or going under.
Yeah,
I think Western Michigan has to do this season and then keep winning in the next year, and this is an important game.
Yeah, I got one more. That I think is gonna be a good one. LSU versus Louisville. Only because Lamar Jackson's gonna win the Heisman, and people are gonna doubt him, saying, "Oh, he played terrible of late." And he gets a shot to play against a really good LSU defense.
Yeah.
Athletes.
I argue that it's going to be too good for him.
I don't know. I think Louisville might run away with that one.
They're going to be
can't score.
But they're going to be the fast. They're going to be the fastest defense that he's played all year. And I'll agree with LSU can't score. I'll agree with LSU. LSU is going to struggle to score.
From the LSU point of view, I feel like the show I can get this offense going.
Yeah, they got Ed Orgeron.
Even though he doesn't have his guys in, or he's gonna miss out on whoever he wants to run that offense. I just feel like he wants to show we can get it going, and we're losing Leonard Fournette.
Yeah,
still got a young good running back still back there. So
yeah.
For both sides, it's gonna be interesting. So.
It shall be interesting. All right, since you brought up coaches, we're gonna talk about the coaching carousel a little bit. I just want to start off by giving a shout out to Willie Taggart and getting hired, by Oregon, and going to tackle the minority issue in coaching and hopefully he'll have some success up there in Oregon. I can only hope.
But do you think Oregon can be brought back from the dead?
I don't think they're dead. They just had a bad season. 2 years ago, they played for the national championship. 3 years ago, they played. I mean, this is not a team that's that far off. Let's not bury Oregon so quickly. They struggle. They've struggled at the quarterback position, and they just needed a change. They needed a new change. But I'm not gonna say I'm not burying Oregon already. No, I can't do that. I think Willie Taggart is the type of guy. He fits that type of West Coast Pac-12 scheme. He's going to spread it out, and they're going to throw the ball around a lot. And if he can get the correct players up at Oregon, which is a good place to recruit. It's a good place to recruit too. I mean, you're going to wear some flashy uniforms, and you're going to be in Nike, and If he can get those.
I think he's already behind the 8 ball because I think Oregon's. I mean, they had a good run of getting recruits in those glory years. But I think they're losing this recruiting battle now to Washington. USC's coming back. Stanford's always going to get recruits. I think Oregon's.
UCLA's down there recruiting out of LA pretty good. So,
yeah.
I mean.
I think
it's
Oregon's that team that had their years where they were good. They had they were the it factor a while, but I think now they might just kind of fall off in that Pac-12.
Like, I get this coach turned around South Florida and stuff, but this kind of reminds me of how, like, not the same, but how, like, Charlie Strong with the Texas, he's in Oregon coming from Florida. So it's going to be kind of tough to get some of them Florida recruits where you got the in-state schools like Florida State, Florida, Miami coming after you. I feel like that's the biggest challenge. But if he can win at least some of those, I think he could do all right.
Yeah, I think he has a place where I mean I'm gonna be pulling for him and I'm hoping that he's gonna be able to be successful and kind of bring Oregon back from the ashes has been mentioned. All right, so today a report came out of Houston that Lane Kiffin's going to be their guy. Les Miles was a guy. He was a finalist. He was interviewed for that position. So where did two great coaches in Les Miles and Charlie Strong end up? Where did these guys? I mean, are they just retired, or do we see some moves?
Land on his feet somewhere, but I think Charlie's got to go back to being a D coordinator for a little bit. I think he's got to take a step back, then come back as a head coach. But I think Les could jump back into it. I think Charlie needs to take a couple years coordinating a championship team.
Okay.
My opinion, I think we'll see Les Miles broadcaster somewhere. I feel Charlie Strong get a job only because you cannot count out what he did at Texas. We can't like forget what Mac Brown kind of let down the Texas program, because before Charlie Strong got there, he had to clean up a lot of off the field issues as well. He turned him around, but I feel like he can go into a better situation field wise, and he can still bring talent with him in recruiting.
And look, I know Charlie had a bad. I know people were rough on Charlie, and he had a hard time. But Deontay Foreman did rush for 2,000 yards this year and won the Doak Walker Award.
And he just got a new offensive coordinator. He only had 1 year with that up-tempo
and
offense.
The man rushed for 2,000 yards and won the Doak Walker Award tonight. So, I mean, it wasn't pretty. I mean, the Big 12 is a whole new animal because you got Texas A&M, who's now in the SEC, and Texas is a hard place to recruit. Everybody recruits in Texas. You got TCU, who was having a down year this year, but they played in the Rose Bowl. They won those big games. And then you got Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, who just crossed the border, and they're coming down recruiting those kids. And then, of course, everybody in the SEC and Alabama and LSU's in there. So Texas is a tough state to recruit kids out of Texas to get them to say, yeah, I mean, we're going to stay here in Texas.
He still had some big name recruits come to the university.
But he didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, one linebacker.
Yeah, he didn't have a quarterback.
There's a lot of teams out there without quarterbacks who can still win games.
I got a question.
Okay.
What do you think the better fit is for Charlie Strong? According to Philly.com, he's been talking to Temple, and according to Florida Football Insiders, he appears to be a top candidate for the South Florida job. But I think he flourishes in Florida. That's his base. I feel like he goes back to South Florida in a tough conference. I think it's underrated, the American Conference.
Yeah, the American is definitely, especially with Navy playing in the American right now. And and Navy did lose their conference championship on Saturday, but they lost their starting quarterback and starting running back, and they've won 9 games this year, and they're probably going to beat Army. They're going to probably beat Army on Saturday, and they'll get to 10 wins. So I mean, the American Conference is tough. The American's a tough place to play in, and
but I mean, do you give Charlie a hat tip if he goes to USF and wins when they're already a pretty decent team right now? Like,
I mean, the man's got to fit where he can fit in. I mean, if he goes to Temple just won the American. So I mean,
a talented Houston team. Still got Temple coming back. Navy's pretty good. I mean, it's tough teams, but yeah, he's going to inherit a good team wherever he goes. It's just, can you continue winning?
I would hope he could. I mean, if he can't, then it'll show a lot about him. And I think if he can't win there, I think he's just a DC from here on out.
Oh yeah, I think Charlie only gets one more shot. Unfortunately, I wish he could get more than one, but I think Charlie only gets one more shot. And I mean, I'm pulling for him, whether it is at Temple or it is at South Florida. But he's Bleacher Report has a lot of speculation there on him going to Temple. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think Les Miles could be the odd man out. I think because LSU decided to go with Ed Orgeron, which not a lot of people thought they would do. But I think because LSU did decide to go with Ed Orgeron, mainly because they knew they weren't going to get Tom Herman, who ended up going to Texas. So if they could have got Herman, or if they could have lured Jimbo away from Florida State, then we might could have seen a lot of other things happen with Les Miles. But I don't think Les Miles. I think Les Miles might be in the booth next year. Because
I feel like Texas is going to be a great team next year.
They finally got an offensive line, so they're going to spread.
The quarterback's not bad.
He's
For a
not.
freshman, he played pretty decent.
Yeah, he was just young. Yeah, he was just young.
True freshman. I mean, it's not a lot of good defenses in the Big 12, but you know, he can air it out, and I feel like he'll fit in that offense.
Yeah, he does. He does. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up the college football segment with a little bit of a sad note, but just want to give a shout out and shout out to his family. But Rashaan Salam, Heisman Trophy winner in 1994, first round pick, struggled with some life things that did happen later, and that kind of cut it, and some injuries cut his career short. But he was found in a park in Colorado the other day. So just prayers out to his family.
Yeah, praying for his family. Tough one.
Well, guys, this has been the first edition of the Young Old Heads with Ben Thompson.
Your boy Fu.
And Uncle Jerry, your resident college football guru here.
The guys, don't listen, Jerry. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. It's been a good time, and hope to have y'all back. Hope to keep doing this podcast some more, y'all.